sometimes it's like when you're consuming something, right, and you don't know the process behind it, you might underestimate its value.
Yeah.
But being on the other side, I realized like this man has a gift, right? Like you have a gift of, because of your ability to go deep into yourself and find out your different stories, you can help guide people there.
Yes. Find your different stories. So before I even address that, I'll say that the reason why I'm here and I'm speaking so candidly is because of how you spoke so candidly that day.
I appreciate that.
Unleash as well. So man, I'm happy to pay it forward. Now with the storytelling thing, I always say that to be a master storyteller, you have to know your story first and foremost. You cannot tell other stories without knowing your story. That is knowing how all the things that happen in your life, the thread that connects it, what it means for your destiny,
for your growth,
for your growth. Yeah. So if you're able to find a narrative of what it means to be a black Igbo man born in South Korea, and that's your beginning, and then all the things, and to find a story that powers you and everything else you do. Once you have that, telling other people's stories or creating stories for brands or whatever becomes easier. Yeah. When you see a story in a movie or a TV show, you understand
the creative process behind it.
Yes, you can see it. So having that meant that if I'm talking to somebody, because I know my story, I know how to talk to them or what to look for, or even to just know that there's a story that this person maybe they're not told or they even know.
They don't even know. So you have them unearth it.
Yeah. So as a master storyteller, it's being both the story and the teller. Most people err on, I'm a storyteller, but they don't know they don't have a narrative for themselves. That's why the Rayven. Only you know really what the story is of the Rayven and how you tell it and how it, black on black like a Raven. Bastard.
Do you know? But I was having this conversation with the team behind the scenes. It's like, so we had like some issues with some episodes, right? Okay. And I'm not superstitious really, but then that day I wore white, right? That day I used a different barber. And I just kept on cracking my head to think about why is this happening? But then I know the guys are laughing outside. They think this I shouldn't be saying, but too late now, right?
Too late.
I did believe that because initially I wanted it to be black because that's the image I had in my head. But then for one reason I tried that, and honestly, one of the things that I learned is trust your guts. Because there's a part of me that knew I shouldn't have done that. Throughout every step of the way, convincing myself to wear the outfit that I did, going to the barber, there was a part of me that was very uncomfortable. And I think what that whole process taught me is Jack, when you know more than, or maybe you don't know, you understand more than you think. That thing about there's a feeling, there's a way that it's so clear to you. So now it's I don't compromise as much, right? If that's what it is, that's what it is. If the feeling, if I feel it, is valid.
A wise man once said, intelligent men feel what most men only know.
Yeah.
So feeling really is the truth.
Oh yes.
Feeling is the truth. Yes. Seeing is believing, but feeling is the truth.
Because I read another book called The Atlas of the Heart, right? And that book, it explains emotions and feelings in ways that I've never seen, right? And he said part of why we struggle one time is sometimes we're not able to name these feelings.
Yeah.
So you can't really address or engage with something you can't name. And sometimes there's misconceptions between what jealousy is versus what envy is, right?
Yeah.
Similar kind of this thing, right? But then there's envy that it's not malicious. It's I looked at you with envy. Right, I looked at you and I was I want to create, sitting there in that conversation, being on that side, I made up my mind that I wanted to experience what you were experiencing with me that day. I envied that, and it drove me to do more. So because there's a way that I see things as well. It's I started to get this feeling with social media, right, where I would see people and be jealous of them. Right, it's because I feel our stories are similar. Why is he doing more than me, or whatever that kind of thing is? And one time I just shot myself. I was like, Jackpo, don't be an Obanje. Don't be an Obanje. What kind of negative feeling is that? But then I started to, like you said, transfer that feeling into, if he can do it, I can do something of my own. I just need to find it. Right. and that is how I felt engaging with your content. Like I would see you and I always question like, why this your confidence? Waiting the but then it wasn't from a place of trying to like negate it, but it was just curiosity that so that I find my confidence, right? Because I'm the kind of person that always felt like I needed to tone myself down to make people less uncomfortable, right? So that but then one thing you taught me was, Jaco, give them who you are.
Give them.
Do you know what I
And they
mean?
will take
And like I've learned so much from you, and that's why I really wanted us to have this conversation because like I appreciate your audacity, right? It's not easy moving in a world like this where because the topics that you were because when I was doing it, I knew that I couldn't handle topical conversations, right? I wanted to go more on people's stories and topics, but you would address topics, right?
Issues, yeah.
You address issues, and like I see sometimes when you speak for on behalf of women, and I see sometimes someone will be grateful, someone will be like, why do you feel like you can speak for me?
Yeah.
And then you try to explain it.
Yeah.
Like to walk me through that whole process of speaking for people who think, what right do you have to speak for them?
Bro, it's from a place of we're human before any gender. So I don't need to be a woman to understand that you feel a type of way about what the world is or is not doing to, for you, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and understanding what it means to even be there. After seeing that we're human, then understanding what it means to be a woman. And I always say to a lot of this, like the people that challenge, the women that challenge my, approach to things is, I think I've spoken to more women about women's stuff than you have as a woman. Let that sink in, yeah. You as a woman I know more.
You experience it, but do you really communicate, talk about it? No, I'm talking about being a woman. You experience being a woman, but
yeah. Do you have rich conversations with other, not shallow, oh, this is happening to me, and like, you know how so imagine me talking to a woman the way I talk, and she's unearthing things about her experience that maybe she's not even said to another woman before.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've been privy to such info, and I'm sorry, that qualifies me.
That qualifies you.
That qualifies me to say and think with my chest what I feel. And then it's not left for you to go and like, decide if it's true for you or not.
So you're not forcing it on anybody.
No, I mean,
you're just stating what based on your own personal experience, based on what you've seen.
You can't force anybody, but you can tell them what is wrong and what is right as you see it.
As you see it.
Yes, if I think that what women or a woman is doing in this particular thing is wrong, I will say it is wrong and I'll tell you why it's wrong. And if your only rebuttal is that I'm a man, so I should not have an opinion about it, then you've not even started to talk, really, really solve problems.
So for you don't really engage in, once they tell you that you're a man.
No, I engage. I mean, me in my mind, this is what I'm thinking.
Okay, this is what you're thinking, but you still respond in.
I will respond in kind and because now if I know that they're not really serious about solutions per se, they're just a fan of the problem.
They just want to.
They're more anti the problem than they are pro solution.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you meet people like that, you now like know how to. So if you're more anti the problem, then I'll speak to you from that perspective.
Okay.
If you're pro solution, I'll speak to you from that perspective.
Well, that makes sense.
That's how.
Like, is it one of those things that a prophet is not recognized in his home?
Is that Burna Boy thing you said now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I saw like you were getting recognition from international bodies talking about the great work you're doing.
Yeah.
When your country, you're like, wagwan.
Yeah, when I first started the podcast, the first feedback I got from my confidant who I said, hey, what do you think about this idea, this thing? She said, Rodney, Nigerians are not ready for this.
Which was...
and she wasn't wrong, but again, I was like, I'll show them, I'll make them.
You teach them.
I'll show, yeah. So that was the energy I went into it. So I always knew that those who are, in fact, it was Nigerians in the diaspora.
That were, okay.
That were even like really, really following. And then it took some time for even Abuja. My following in Lagos is more than in Abuja. You get that kind of thing.
Because sometimes they see you and they think like because they see you, they have access to you.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. But I've always felt, what I will need to do to change that, the time will come for that. But right now is more about making sure I'm putting out the work.
Putting the work consistently.
putting out the episodes, because the episodes are really. So let me give you a secret.
Okay.
I create at the rate I create because that's just a phase of the Young God project. The next phase, what I want to do really with this thing, depends on all those things existing.
So you have to create all this.
So I have to create them. So it's not really about, are people listening or not yet. I mean, it's
that you want to create that directory.
Yeah, that catalog of timeless audio-only content that touches on all aspects of the human experience.
Yeah.
Using my story to help others tell their story.
Right.
And once I've emptied that, then the next phase of the project will begin. Right. So that's the strategy, because there's so much to talk about. You know what, bro? Imagine in 2019, I said, okay, this is going to take time.
Right.
Are you ready to do this? Are you ready to put in this time and just do this thing, regardless of whether people are paying attention or not? The answer was yes. And how much can I do this? And if I'm going to do this, what's the most sustainable way to do it? Which means I couldn't rely on people.
Right.
I can't have a team like this if I'm going to do this at the rate I want to do.
Because you were gracious.
You know what I'm saying?
You were aggressive.
I can't depend on anybody for the crucial things that have to do with it. So to be successful and sustainable as a podcaster, I had to do a lot of things myself. And luckily, like I told you, I was in music space when I was in uni. Okay. So those skills were on my fingertips.
Okay.
9 years later, I did not know
that you're going to use
them again. You know, I didn't know anything. I didn't plan to be a broadcaster, podcaster, journalist, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? I was really thinking of the advertising industry.
Right.
And, you know, Mad Men had inspired
Mad Men changed my life.
You get what I'm saying? So I was really in that direction. But then I started podcasting because when I started Evo Creative, I was like, how do I promote this company? And I wanted to work with international clients. So I said, okay, you know what? Podcasting is an international medium. Because at that time, 2018, it
wasn't local yet.
Yeah, people went. So I was really, really one of the first to use podcasting for anything, but just to promote my business. And the first podcast was called The Creative Habit.
Right, I didn't know.
Yeah, and I would just use my phone and Anchor and edit it down and put it up. And it was a good way to do it because I started getting inquiries and leads onto the very first client, you know, from Nairobi, actually, yeah. Because I spoke about being in Nairobi at some point. So they just felt comfortable, like this guy would.
Oh, right.
So that's how I went to Nairobi 3 months after that episode dropped, yeah. So they reached, changed. That
was like the eureka moment.
That was the eureka moment. You know, yeah. So that was when I earned my first dollars in that business. Right. So then after doing that, I was like, I have a voice for this thing that goes beyond just talking creative and business stuff. So that's why I now rebranded to the Young God in 2019.
Right.
Yeah. And I really now started using all my musical, my ear for music to now create.
Like I like your the background music. I like the way your influence with music
and sounds.
Yeah,
and
like it was very.
I just make a whole.
It's like when I listen to your podcast, it's like I'm transported into a new world, because it's like the sound is rich in so many different things. Like sometimes I feel like I'm in a trance. Oof. Do you know what I mean? That's how I feel.
When I did my job.
That's how I feel.
So it was those skills from uni. So again, storytelling, which is like, what are the odds that the thing I did then will come back 9-8 years later to fuel another aspect of my life, my career, my being. And so I rolled with it, and 7 years later, we're here. And so just doing it in a way that meant I didn't have to rely on people. I meant I stayed within myself. But I didn't do video, because part of it was like,
So you wanted to have control of the things that you could do.
Yes, and just
nail it.
And just nail it. Because by the time I'm having to deal with an editor, lighting,
there's another complexity.
And the momentum would, you know. So at that time I was releasing 3 episodes a week when I first started, just to get that. To get the reps in, to build the muscle for this thing. Yeah. My first 3 seasons, 3 episodes at once. Then the next 2 seasons, 2 episodes at once. Then when I finally got to season 6, I was like, yes, I have done this thing. Now I can do 1 a week now. I have enough.
You have enough,
so I can drop.
So once you drop that 1 a week, they have things to reference.
Yeah. That was my thinking. So that's been the plan, to create this catalog that I'll now use for the next phase of things, which is funny enough what Nate and I were talking about. Talked about.
Yeah. That's really cool. But I know, like, this year, man, like, with everything that you built, like, how they say, calamity struck. Is that a word for it?
The story, right?
Yeah, like
plot twisted.
With everything, you're like right on top. You're hot property. Like, everyone knows Young God. Like, your episodes are banging, and then like you wake up one morning and all that is gone. I remember seeing a message, but that was actually like a couple of days after, and you said, "The Young God is no more." I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
What happened?
At 11 p.m. on during Lent, that first week of Lent. So it was very, you know what Lent means.
You're solemn, you're humble.
You're solemn, you're humble, but it's also a period of when you relate it with what Christ went through, that struggle, that period.
Yeah.
So it was very timely in that I woke up. At 11 p.m. YouTube sent me an email saying, "We don't have access to your feed anymore. Please contact your hosting platform." I'm like, what does that mean? I tried to log into Spotify, no access. I tried to log into my personal account where I listen to music. They had cleared me as if Rodney did not exist on this thing before. No email, no warning, no nothing, just that. So for the next 3 days after that, I was trying to troubleshoot, trying to reach out, trying to find out, went on Reddit to see if people had experienced this. And it turned out that podcasts in that religion or spirituality realm tend to have these experiences.
Okay, so you're getting feedback. Some people in that space
had lost their stuff without warning, without notice. And then I was like, damn, 7 years of work gone, all my analytics gone, all the data I've been using gone. But then, luckily for me, YouTube and Apple Podcasts, their own content architecture is such that they stand on their own. You can't just delete from there and it's now affected, unlike other platforms where
other platforms where they deleted, they went as well.
It went as well. But only YouTube and Apple Podcasts kept my stuff. So like, okay, cool. At least the podcast still exists somewhere.
At least.
That takes something off. So what do we do now? How do we move forward? Okay, we'll make the statement first. And when we make the statement, we'll let the feedback inform.
Drive your next steps.
Yeah. So when I dropped the statement, apart from, fans and, supporters responding, hosting platforms came into my DMs as well. They found my number. I don't know how they got it. Libsyn, Buzzsprout. They reached out saying, "We heard about what happened. We're very, very sorry." They were, like, your niggas not exist.
They're validating you.
Yeah. And we would like to, we don't know what your future plans are, but we would like you to consider us. We set up a meeting and we can show you what we can do for you, our pitch and everything. So it became very interesting again. And that never happened,
Before you were selling, you're forcing yourself, but now.
Yeah, now it was like they'd come and don't get me wrong, that 7 years, Spotify did a lot for my growth, a lot for my experience. But then I found out from a Spotify insider that they had been actually stifling my growth
because of your content.
Yeah, because the
sensitivity of it.
Yeah, so they've been limiting my reach, and so things are coming to light. I was like, oh snap! So this is not even a mistake or even something of, oh, let me go back to Spotify. I can't work with you again. I don't even want to know what Spotify means. Even though I'm losing that, like 30 million access to 30 million ears. That's not a small thing to walk away from.
Of course,
but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself, and maybe it's time for me to now like nurture that Nigerian audience. So I went to a Nigerian hosting platform. They offered me Jamit. I can say that name. Yeah,
Jamit. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, Jamit. They offered me a lot of nice things, a lot of things that let me know, okay, this is who I want to pitch my tent with, and it also offered me the opportunity to sort of rebrand. Because I love a good rebrand.
Yeah, that's your business. That's your baby.
Yeah, I love a good rebrand. I like to like try things again. So when that happened, it was not like, okay, what can we do differently, and even me personally, that feeling, that's why I locked my hair on Insta, like, yeah, the
looking your hair like that, yeah.
The podcast came back, so when it was taken down, that was season 6. So I said, okay, season 6 had been going on for like more than 18 months now. I've been like just dropping episodes. So maybe this will now signal the end of season 6 and start of, and I'll say it here first, my final and 7th season. Yeah.
Final.
If this stops, this season is where it stops. A nice 7th completion. You know. So
have you started working already?
That's what we are on. We're in it now. So the audience doesn't know. It's you and the prospective audience that knows right now. But people who are young, they don't know.
That's engaging. They don't know that.
Yeah, I haven't said it yet. And truth be told, I decided this after the season started. You know.
So when you were going into the season, you had no idea this was going to be.
Yeah.
But what changed? What feeling did you have that made you feel like?
So what changed was the fact that this new phase I was telling you about, where I had dedicated 7 years to creating the thing.
So you feel like you have enough.
I have enough. I have enough content. One, I have enough credibility in all these areas. I have enough of an audience to build on. Like everything that needed to be in place for what I'm trying to do next. Which is, you think, so if you thought I was there when I was doing this next thing is, even I'm afraid for what.
That's always a good sign of how big it is.
Yeah. So it was time, and I was like, okay, you know what? This 7th season, I'm gonna create my heart out, and I will not create again for the young god. If I'm going to do something else, probably something like this, it'd be on a different name, different title, the co-host even. I'm tired of even doing it alone. We're gonna have all those things that people have been saying. Rodney, do videos.
Yeah. So now you're ready for that.
That'll be the next, adventure. But as far as creating myself, I'm gonna leave it all. I'm gonna empty.
That means this one is gonna be explosive.
Yeah. So that's what this is, and so that's
where
we are right now.
Woof. Rodney, bro, the young god, man. You're a heavy guy.
The Rayven,
heavy guy, man. So wow, man. Thank you so much for this conversation. Like we said at the beginning, we're gonna do a little game.
Yep.
It's called the Card of Thoughts. I'm just gonna shuffle it a bit. Right? I have some interesting questions here. A bit intrusive, but positively. You know what I mean?
Let's go there.
You never shy away for things like this.
Ever.
All right, so I'm just gonna. You can pick. All right, so you read it out.
Which beliefs of mine are old stones I carry, and which are fresh flowers in bloom?
So interesting, given the phase that you're in right now. Oof.
So before I answer the question, I would say that the Spotify thing and the Big Brother thing are two pivotal moments in the story of this journey, right? And so it was when these things happened that I realized old stones and fresh flowers, when those two things happened. So the beliefs of mine that are old stones that I carry are, nothing is guaranteed, and nothing, you're not entitled to anything. All you're here for is the experience of the thing. So even with the Spotify thing, people were saying you should sue. I'm like, that would deny the experience, the value of what I've gotten from it. Now, because now I'm a victim. I'm not a victim.
No, you're not going to, because if you do that, that's what you're embodying.
I am not that. And I'm not going to build my empire on, I want a suit against Spotify.
On the sympathy case.
Yeah, no. Can't have that. It is what it is. Our time has come. 7 years were great.
It was a great one.
It was a free service. So they're entitled to do with their business whatever they like.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to make my own move. That's how I saw it. So that's the old stone that I'm the author at all points of this story. And Spotify.
So the platform doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So your story is what is.
Yes, the story I am what is. Do you get what I'm saying? It is me that makes the thing, not the other way around. The younger doesn't make me, I make it. So if I decide that it stops today, it stops.
It's your call.
If I continue, I continue. Now, as for fresh flowers, the importance of community. Having people to share, even if they're not like in your house or right there, but having that young girl community that was really behind me.
Yeah, when you put out that statement, the comments, that's probably one of your most shared content. I can bet that. Because I was reading the comments as well. Like I was just like, dude, you I'm sure you've touched lives, right? But then not everybody will tell you.
Yeah.
And sometimes adversity gives you the opportunity to know what role you play. So maybe
that's what. So that fresh flower was okay. Now I know what my community is made of.
Yeah.
Like you guys,
you see me.
You guys have my back. In fact, without them, that have maybe been no bounce back, because you need
Yeah.
community that will come and say to you, Rodney, we got you. What do you want to
We
do?
need you back.
Do you want us to go and bombard Spotify?
You were telling you, okay.
Yes, do you know what you need right now? I'm like, all I need for you is when the new season starts, promote it.
Thank you so much, Rodney. Insight, wisdom, sharing your perspective with us. Looking forward to
It's a
all the
pleasure.
amazing things you're going to do. So proud of you, so inspired by you. Keep
As
doing
am
your
I.
thing. No, because honestly, like, you are a big part of why I'm doing this. And I want to say thank you for your audacity. And I know I tease you about it, but it's from a positive envy perspective, you know what I mean? And I've learned a lot from you. So thank you so much.
You see me, bro. What else do we want in this world?
Of
To be
course,
seen.
man. That's what's up. Ooh, brother.